Okay, guys, so as you may have seen, there is a new objective, as there has been every week. I really rate this from EA. This one is going to be using a Brazil team, and it's for some decent reward. You know, we're getting this Gomez card for 12 wins. I'm going to be showing you guys the best Brazil team that I would choose if you're able to do it. We'll talk about some different players and stuff, but the card on offer is good. If you don't think you're going to be able to get this yourself, link in the description. We can play the games for you. But let's get into it. Hope you enjoy. If you want the cheapest FC24 coins to get ahead of the competition, check out MMOEXP by clicking the link down below and use code JambooUK for 5% off. Okay, so getting into the video, guys, do me a favour, please do hit a like. Let's try and hit 100. Content is tough at the minute, so if you're still around supporting, I really appreciate it. Feel free to leave a comment as well. Any questions or anything, you know, let me know. I will respond to you. But let's start off with this Brazil team, okay? So, starting off, goalkeeper has been a massive issue. Like, in these objective teams, I think back to, like, the England one, it was absolutely horrific, using, like, Gold Nick Pope. I know they throw in the objectives now, like, to give you a keeper when you're some of the way there. But, finally, we are using a nation that you can just have a keeper that has hands straight off the bat. So, we are going with Alisson. I'm not sure. I've not really looked at this yet. So we're going to go through, pick the best team. I don't have it off the top of my head what it is. So we can have a look through together. We're going to have to go with this Militao, 100%. He looks incredible. Other good options. There's a lot of good cheap centre-backs in the game. You know, even this Gabriel here. You've got the Bremer card, which is going to be more than good enough. A lot of you will have the Thiago Silva as well. So, another good option there. But we're going to go Militao. I think he is the best centre-back available. Next up, it's probably going to be this Gabriel. He is, I believe, the card that you got last week. So, you know, 6'3", really good pace, great on the ball, elite defending, good play styles. We'll swap them round. And yeah, that's a really good base. Like, if you can afford to get those in, you're off to a good start. Right back now, what a card this is. I'm trying to think. A lot of you, like, just in your club may have some of these sat around. Any of these ones are good, really. From this 85 is pushing it a bit. If that's the best you can do, you know, it's going to be okay. But really, you want at least, I would say, this card, the 87. But ideally, you know, we want to stick this guy in. He looks incredible. 4-star, 4-star. Super good pace, good on the ball, elite defending, 4 playstyle pluses. Happy days. Moving over to left back. What options do we have here? So we got this Roberto Carlos. A lot of good options here. I would say, like, anyone from this Teles is probably usable at this point in the game. Listen, he wouldn't be that good, but it would be okay. Not even the normal Roberto Carlos would do a job. You got to think, a lot of the people you play will have, you know, the same sort of team. But it's obviously the Carlos. I think this Wendell card is actually very decent as well. 5-star skills. Getting him on the overlap would be very, very nice. But we'll stick in the Roberto Carlos, of course. Centre mids. So many good options, man. So many good options. There is a lot of cards you can pick. You know, even from all the way down here, to be honest with you. You know, I understand not everyone has, like, the best versions of these teams readily made. So when you look at some of these cards, you know, even this, like this Teles is decent. Oscar, Fred, Joe Linton card would do a job. But in an ideal world, we're looking at these guys up here. I really like this Ramirez. I think he's got a place in the team for sure. But obviously Bruno G is probably the best option we've got there. But if we're picking another centre mid alongside him, this Fred is incredible. 4-star, 4-star. I'd probably say it's between him, the Ramirez, and Edison. This Edison looks very, very good. I say we're going to pick him. We're going to pick the Edison. For Cam, let's have a little look there. I mean, there's some inaccessible options here for sure that I know a lot of you aren't going to have. The obvious choice, you know, is going to be someone like the Dino or the Pele. If we're being realistic here, a lot of you guys will be looking for like a cheaper alternative card that you can throw in. I don't know how much this Neymar is, but I'd love to use him. This Debinho is probably the value card. 5-star, 5-star. This is like a cheap Neymar. That is a good one that I'd recommend throwing in if you're on a budget. Is this Marta card any good? The pace is just a little bit too low, to be honest with you. What other good options do we have? There's going to be a lot in Brazil. Even like the normal Kaká would definitely do a job for you. This Malcolm card, 4-star, 4-star, not ideal. I would say on a cheaper budget, it's probably between like the Kaká and the Debinho as well. If you can afford the Neymar, I'd go with him. And if you're on a super budget, we're going to go for this guy, Mr. Pele. So, off to the right wing now. We've got this Rodrigo, of course. I feel like on a cheaper budget, a lot of you guys can go with Rafinha. You've got Rodrigo here as well. If you've got any of the Brazilian icon right wings, they're going to be absolutely fine to slot in there too. Even this Felipe Anderson, if you're on a real tight budget, he is going to do a job for you. 4-star, 4-star, which isn't ideal, but the card's definitely okay. We got Marta there with a bit more pace, which is nice, but for us, we're going to throw in the Rodrigo, of course. You do have this Rafinha as well, the cracked one. I feel like a lot of you guys may have this version, but this one's really good. We'll go with Rodrigo here. Left wing, I mean, there's more sort of obvious. The obvious choice is this Dino or the Rivaldo, right? But in terms of being realistic, I'm trying to think, you know, who we could actually go for here. You got the Thunderstruck Vinny. He would actually be good still at this point. Normal Ronaldinho would be a shout. You've even got like Neymar. Any of his versions are still pretty okay. Normal Vinny, he would do a job. I would say like normal Vinny has got to be the bottom of what you're looking for here. I think any worse than that, and you're going to be putting yourself at quite a big disadvantage. But Vinny, Neymar, any of those guys, good options. But of course, ooh, who do we go for here? 5-5. We've got to go Dino. We'll go Ronaldinho. And then for the striker, that is going to pick itself, of course. We do have R9. But there is also a lot of other good, cheaper options. You know, even this Jesus. Got the Adriana here. João Pedro. 4-star, 4-star. But that's a solid enough card for sure. On a much cheaper budget. The drop-off is quite heavy compared to the higher cards. This Cunha is actually okay. If you're on a really, really tight budget, you know, someone like that Cunha, the João Pedro, they could fit in and do a job. Jesus as well, maybe even this card here. This looks like a really decent one. 5-star weak for good pace, you know, crazy physicals as well. But of course, we are going to go with R9. But guys, that is our best possible Brazilian team. Let me know if you agree, disagree. Appreciate you watching. Let me know your prediction for the England game tomorrow. Catch you on the next one, and peace.